Grapevine Mayor William Tate, thank you so much and welcome back to Eye on Politics.
Well, thank you. I'm very honored that you'd be here today.
Well, yes, and so you are celebrating 50 years as mayor coming up on May 15th. What do you think about that when you hear 50 years in office?
Well, it makes me feel old. I was young. I was 30 when I first was sworn in as mayor, and I'm a senior citizen now, so it's hard to realize how fast life is, and it's hard to realize it has been 50 years.
Some people may hear this and say, why on earth would somebody want to do this job for 50 years?
Yeah, well, I never set out to do that. I can remember those late meetings when I was city attorney before I was on the council or mayor, and I didn't think I could stand it any longer because the meetings were so long. But you know, things change, and we've done a lot of special things here. We've had a lot of community support. I've had really a special life growing up in the community. My father was mayor when they built the lake. I got to do some special things. We had a hardware store. I listened to the men talk about their dreams and aspirations for the city. When I became city attorney and they were building the airport, and we had the late meetings, people were very vocal on what they wanted the future of their community to look like. And I recorded those, and I tried to give back to the people what they wanted their community to be.
And so let me ask you, because how long do you envision staying as mayor? Do you want to run for another term again?
Oh, I've got a year left, and I'm getting older, so it's too early to really make that decision. But you can count the years and know the time is running out. I'm going to try to enjoy this year, and we'll see what the end of the year brings and what the people want. Who wants to be the next mayor, and if we have a new mayor, hopefully we can continue the programs that we've spent 50 years building.
And you mentioned that your dad was mayor.
Yes.
How did that impact you to want to become mayor yourself?
Well, I got to release the first fish in the lake when I was 8. When I was 9, I got to push a red button in the control tower that started an engine that lowered a gate to impound the lake. I got to go to the wreckage when Herbert Noble was killed across the lake. I got to experience things as the mayor's son that most people didn't, and that inspired me to want to be a part of the community. But probably the men sitting around the stove in the hardware store talking about their dreams and aspirations inspired me more than any. And I didn't think about being mayor that early. When Mayor Perkle decided not to run, I was out of law school. I was on the council then, and he asked me to run for mayor, and I did, and fortunately I won.
And do you see maybe a child, one of your children or one of your grandchildren running for mayor?
Oh, I don't know. They talk about it sometime.
They
but,
do?
You know, I just want them to, as many of them as possible, just to continue to live in Grapevine and enjoy the wonderful community that we have. I probably won't live to know whether that happens or not, just like my father didn't know that I was ever mayor.
So they've talked about it?
They've talked about it, yes.
And?
Not necessarily being mayor, but, you know, serving in public capacity or being on the council. And I hope at least one will do that someday and keep the legacy going. My mother's father was the first night watchman. My uncle Dick Wally was the first chairman of the Downtown Merchants Association, which became the Chamber of Commerce. He was also president of the 4th Anglers Club and responsible for stocking Lake Grapevine with fish. And then my father was mayor, so we've had a history in this community of our family serving and giving back, and for that to continue would be great.
And looking back, what are your proudest accomplishments here as mayor?
Well, we've done some really special things here that are unique. Number one, when I became mayor, I realized we had a financial problem because about 65% of our city wasn't on the tax roll. 40% was in the airport. We had land in the lake, land in the highways, land belonging to schools and churches and nonprofits. We had to provide enough revenue to build a city. And how were we going to do that without ad valorem tax revenue being sufficient? So we put a new business plan together based on sales tax. We made a list of big sales tax collecting companies like the Grapevine Mills Mall. And so we rode on airplanes and knocked on doors and tried to go get companies that would help build up our sales tax, and we were very successful in that.
Any new projects on the horizon that people should be aware of?
Well, we are nearly at build out. It's hard to really attract large entities like Frisco and some of the cities that have unlimited land. But I've learned you never really get to build out because there's always some urban renewal. Somebody's tearing something down and building something better. We do have some economic development things that we're excited about, some entertainment, and it's hard to get more retail because we have the Main Street and the Grapevine Mills Mall, but we have a lot of hotels, we have a hospitality industry, and we continue to build on the sales tax because that's where our future is.
Is there any one project that you lured to the city that stands out for you?
Well, one thing that I was involved in was the making the deal with Bass Pro. We courted them for 7 years. They were in Springfield. They hadn't started expanding yet, but they were looking at Grapevine. And we worked with them, and we thought that we were going to get them, and it came down, and they told me Mr. Morris was in town, and we thought we had lost him, that he was looking at an alternate site in Irving that he could vision, and staff wanted to come to Grapevine. But they set up a meeting with me at 9 o'clock that night, and it was up to me to see if we could salvage it. And I thought, you know, what am I going to do? So I talked to him about what he had meant to Springfield, Missouri, and what I thought he could mean to Grapevine, Texas. And I talked to him about the similarity with his father growing up, teaching him to hunt and fish, and how my father had done the same, and the similarities. And I said, if you want to go to Irving, it's a nice city. But, you know, I don't think the mayor is an outdoorsman. If you want to be birds of feather, you'll come to Grapevine, Texas. And I saw a little tear in his eye. He didn't say anything. He said, Mayor, I don't make a decision till I sleep on it. I'll let you know my decision in the morning. The phone rang about 6 o'clock. And Mr. Morris said, can I meet you in your office in 30 minutes? And I said, sure. I got there. He said, I haven't been able to sleep all night because I wanted to tell you we're coming to Grapevine, Texas. So we've had a lot of economic success, but that was one that I thought was very personal and I could relate to in my childhood. It's been very beneficial to our city.
And as mayor, what would you say the most important lesson that you've learned that has stuck with you?
What I learned very early is that people want more for less. They want more city services for less taxes. And I've been able to work on that. That's one reason that has kept me running, try to eliminate ad valorem taxes. And we've dropped it from 80 cents to about 22 cents, which we share with Tyler, Texas, as the lowest tax rate of a city of 50,000 or more. And we have a lot of things that are paid for, a lot of things that are new. We have a lot of city services. People love to live and work here. And that's the salvation you get as being the mayor. The gratification you get is to know that the people are happy with what you've done in your life's work.
Do you get a lot of complaints still about property taxes?
No, I don't. People don't complain about the property taxes. The city tax is the lowest tax we have. It's lower than the hospital district or the junior college district at the county. People really appreciate they get a bargain in the city tax. But I don't get a lot of complaints either. People are very generous. Most people that stop me on the street tell me that they've lived here so many years and where they've come from, what their background is, and how much they love to live and work in Grapevine and how special it is to them. And that really makes me feel good.
What is a really long, busy day like for you as mayor?
Well, every day is different. I've learned that. And the days you think are going to be easy are the days you have a lot of surprises. Being a lawyer, I have to deal with those issues and a lot of emergencies. But as far as the city is concerned, it's pretty routine. The city manager comes to my office usually every morning. We talk about things that are going on in the city and do some planning, discuss some issues and how to address them. We have council meetings at least twice a month. We have a lot of public appearances and a lot of events to go to. A mayor, you know, he doesn't run the city manager does, so he's more of a ceremonial person. He's the relationship between the people and the government. And people do contact me that have problems they can't seem to solve to try to get me involved, and so we try to address those. But every day is different. It's just life. You know, I like to say it's another day in paradise. I've enjoyed my life. I've really had a special life, my entire life. You know, growing up in a small town with your father is well respected. When he was in his 20s, he caught one of the bank robbers that robbed the bank during the Bonnie and Clyde area. And we were merchants and we're well respected. And so I've always enjoyed a lot of support in the community. And what I learned also early on is, you know, so many people get elected, they think they are self-employed and they want to run their office the way they want to do it and make decisions that they want to make. What I try to do is to do the opposite, carry out and fulfill the dreams and aspirations of the people.
What's your day job? Because I hear you're still a lawyer, a practicing attorney.
I'm a lawyer. I was very bashful when I was a kid. Going to law school changed me. It was pretty tough. You had a lot of reading. They cross-examined you every day, so you had to be prepared or you'd be embarrassed. And so I got rid of that self-consciousness, that timidness pretty quick. The first day in law school, they said, forget all the English you've ever learned. We use it for persuasion, not for grammar. So I knew I was in the right spot. And I knew that they were going to change my personality, and they did. And I opened my office here after I got married in '69, and I've had a great career. People rallied around me, gave me business, helped me learn to be a lawyer. And I still practice on a limited basis here. Still want to be active, keep my mind bright and sharp, and enjoy life as long as I can.
And I'm wondering, this whole city has been in your family's blood the entire time. You still have the house that you grew up in and you raised your children in your family, right?
My daughter now owns the house where I grew up. My grandfather, who was the night watchman, built it. His family lived there. That's where I grew up. My daughter lives there. Her children have grown up there. We've had 5 generations live in that house, and it's been a significant location in the community for all these years.
And my last question to you is, what is your legacy?
My legacy will be determined by the people, I think.
What do you think it'll be?
The legacy, I think, is that we were able to put a business plan together that a lot of other people have copied. The other legacy is that we've given back to the people what they wanted. We've tried to fulfill their dreams and their aspirations. We've done what they said in the beginning, Mayor, whatever you do, don't lose our identity, our town character, our pride, and our identity. And we've been able to build a modern international city around the historic beginning that we've had. We've got the best of 2 worlds. And we don't have a lot of social issues here or political issues because people volunteer. They all contribute to the success of the community. And so the Jubilee is not just a reflection of my 50 years, but it's a celebration of the people in the community that have made it possible and have contributed and feel part of the success story that we enjoy here.
You're right. I did want to ask you about the Jubilee that the city has been planning, celebrating your 50 years in office. What do you make of that and all the activities? You've got sister cities coming. to help celebrate?
Well, it bothers me a little bit that we're going so far and doing so much, but like I say, we're really recognizing it as not a celebration for me, but a celebration of the entire community. The successes are not mine. What we've done, we did as a team, we did as a community, and people really feel a part of that success. So why don't we just celebrate together and have one big party? We're big on parties in Grapevine, Texas anyway, with the Christmas capital and the festivals that we have. So we've created a new one. It's the Golden Jubilee.
You're very humble.
Thank you very much. I think that takes you, I think everybody ought to be very humble. You know, my father died at 58. My brother died at birth. My first grandson died at 19 with cancer. My first son-in-law died at 52. So every day is a gift, and I try to enjoy it to the fullest. I've been deeply blessed. I had great opportunities that other kids have never had, and looking back, I think people are very happy with what we do. And that's one reason why I think I'm 50 years. People don't want to change, you know, they keep encouraging me to run because they want more of what we have. I know, though, that in my own heart of hearts, that who follows me will be able to continue that and make our community better.
Do you think you would be reelected if you run one more time?
Oh, I don't know. You know, I've learned you don't make that decision a year out. Too many things can happen, especially at my age. We'll see what the year brings, but right now we're just going to celebrate what we have and make a decision that we feel like is best for the people in the community.
Grapevine Mayor William Tate, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
You bet. Good job.
Good to see you.